The Truth Girls.
Hi everyone. Right now the question out there seems to be, is Trump fit to serve because of the comments he made in 2005 to, what was it, Access Hollywood? And I do want to address those comments. But first I want to talk about what I see as right now the crux of the matter as far as the election goes. And the crux of the matter is that America is at a point right now where they're really dissatisfied with the establishment. I think we can all agree on that. There are so many things that people are just not happy with. They're not happy with their quality of life. They're just not happy with the way things are being run. And they're being run by a group of people who basically constitute the ruling oligarchy, who have been in power for many decades at this point, and that would be like the Bush-Clinton dynasty. People are tired of that. Hillary clearly is part of the Bush-Clinton dynasty, and Hillary represents the status quo. Now, Americans are so fed up with the status quo, they want something to change. And enter Donald Trump. A lot of questions are raised about his personality, his fitness to serve, his lack of experience, things that he said. But I think the reason a lot of people are backing Donald Trump is that he represents the possibility for real change. Being someone who is outside of that elite group that represents the status quo. And he is. I mean, he's a rich man, but he is not part of that American ruling elite by family association or really by anything. So America is standing at a crossroads because you have been tired of the status quo for decades, and here you have a person who might give you a real opportunity to break out of that. The problem is it's a gamble. And I think this is a question of you have to assess the risk. What is the risk of keeping the status quo, which would be represented by Hillary Clinton? You want things to stay the same because that's more comfortable? You know, it might not be ideal, but at least you kind of know what you're dealing with because you've been dealing with it for decades. If you're okay with that, then you would want to vote for Hillary Clinton. If you're really not okay with it and you're willing to take a gamble, that's where you would vote for Trump. And now the argument is, well, look at Trump's personality. Look at the things he said. Look at his lack of experience. And, you know, those are all really good points. But Trump is a front man. I mean, Obama himself said after years of promising to pull out the troops, the fact is, I really don't have the power to do that. The president is not the king. The president represents the government. They choose their cabinet, so they get to represent, you know, they represent the group that will be running the government, and that group is decided by, you know, who they're affiliated with, who are they going to have around them. Hillary Clinton is going to surround herself with the same people that have been in government, that have been running the country for decades. Trump, although if I met him in a bar, I would not go home with him. That's not the point. Trump, who is he going to have in his cabinet? This is really the question, because he himself isn't going to be running the country. His job will be to appoint people to do that, you know, for all the different departments. I mean, yes, the president has some power, but let's be realistic. He's not the king. So the question is, who is going to be surrounding Trump? Who is he going to put in power? Now here's an article from The Hill. I'm actually looking at these things on my iPad. Trump starts considering cabinet. This was from back in July. You'll probably see a lot of people who are outside traditional Washington, D.C., Eric Trump added. The people who are in there right now haven't exactly done this country wonders. Okay, then there's, of course, his VP, Mike Pence. And I would just add that personality-wise, if you look at the debates, Hillary, although she just spouts whatever people want to hear, but her track record speaks for itself, she's very composed, largely. She knows, she has that sort of finesse that blue bloods who've been in the business a long time do. She talks like a lawyer. She keeps her composure. Trump has this really big, kind of aggressive personality, right? Kind of obnoxious. Well, when you watch the VP debate, Hillary's VP, Mr. Kane, has just as an obnoxious personality as Trump. I mean, he talks over his opponent. He just throws things out there. To me, he's got the same kind of personality. Whereas Trump's running mate, Mr. Pence, is the opposite. He's kind of subdued and calm and more of a gentleman. So if just looking at personalities, let's be realistic, we've got a little bit of each on both teams. To sum it up, the people that he wants to put around him are people who would not be more of the same of what you've had before. So this is a gamble. It could be disastrous. But the question is, how desperate are you for change, or how much do you really want change? Are you going to take the status quo, which you're not happy with, but you kind of at least know what you're getting? Or are you going to go for something completely different? But don't forget, you have the Congress, you have the Senate. Different people will be leading different parts of the government. So the media is kind of putting the focus a lot on Trump's personality, but in a way it's not really the issue. They should be looking at who is he talking about putting around him, because it's true he doesn't have a whole lot of experience when it comes to foreign policy and all kinds of things. Mostly where he can talk and know something about it would be looking at things like trade deals, the economy, how to bring labor back. This is where maybe he has some expertise, but really he's going to put people into positions, and what's going to matter is who's he going to choose. Now that said, as far as Trump, the person, actually goes, I keep thinking, I was thinking this before Pussygate even happened. If I met Trump in a bar, I would, my little alarms would go off, and I would think, this guy is a BSer, this is a guy who will say whatever he wants to just... the guy just throws his weight around. He just throws himself around so much. He's like a big loudmouth. He doesn't have a whole ton of class. Okay? It's true. He's not the most classy guy. But the difference with him and the blue bloods is just that they know how to behave better in public. It's a bit like when you're at church and there's some people that they might be really good, well-intentioned people inside, okay? But they have some obvious little thing that's kind of doesn't look good. And then you might have people that look really great on the outside, but they might be hiding all kinds of stuff. Well, Trump is one of those guys that his stuff floats, So, but that doesn't mean that he's a better or worse person than his opponent. He hasn't done anything really, really horrible and criminal. Hillary, on the other hand, has done some things that were flat out illegal. Like I said, she's got her track record. What has Trump actually done? Okay, let's talk about Pussygate. The comments that he made on the bus, that because he's a celebrity, he can kiss any woman, he can just grab her, he can grab her by the... I don't even want to say it. Honestly, as a woman, yes, I find it totally offensive. That any woman who would be approached like that would feel so violated. That's a fact. However, it's also true that men do talk like that. Well, some men do. It's in bad taste. It shows a lack of class. It shows disrespect towards women. It shows that, I'm somebody who can, I'm a player, I'm somebody who can just go grab that piece of meat anytime I want it. Now, that's true. However, Trump is running as president, not head pastor of America, okay? And the other thing, though, is that, like I said, his stuff floats. That doesn't mean that people whose stuff doesn't float, that are better at concealing it because they're blue bloods. Blue bloods are really good at looking good. That doesn't mean they're actually better inside. That doesn't mean they're better on an action level. Bill's not running, Hillary's running, but look at Bill's track record. Having to pay damages to women, nearly being impeached. There's a whole bunch of stuff there that shows that probably he's not any better. He's probably just as much of a womanizer or whatever. And maybe take advantage of his rich and celebrity status as much as Donald Trump would or whoever. It's just better at hiding it. So I think that's I think that's really important. Like, everybody's putting the focus on Pussygate, saying like, "Ooh, look what he said. He's a douchebag." Well, he is. He probably is a douchebag. I would not go home with him if he wanted to. Let's just say, okay? I would not go home with Donald Trump. I wouldn't want to have a drink with him. You know, as a woman. Okay, maybe as a journalist, I would want to talk to him about, you know, but like, just like, let's say, you know, this is, I just work in a bar and Donald Trump just comes in and he's trying to chat me up. I'd be like, oh, you know, I've heard it all before. Like, I know these tactics. I don't know everything about politics, but I know a lot about men. And Donald Trump, clearly, he's one of these like super ego, you know, huge ego, narcissistic womanizer type guys. But he's like really out in the open about it. You know, his stuff floats. Stuff being a 4-letter word that starts with the letter S. Okay? The blue bloods are very good at hiding it. So to me, like, that doesn't mean that Trump is not fit to serve. As much as I object to that comment, it doesn't mean he's not fit to serve. It also doesn't mean, like, I would say, yeah, vote for Trump. I definitely would not want Hillary in power. Because look, right now, Russia is talking about prepare for war. They're getting troops ready. They're telling foreign nationals come home because, you know, we might have a war. They've moved nuclear weapons to the Polish border. They're basically like talking like, you know, we might have to go to war with the US. Maybe nuclear war. Who brought that? This is the Bush-Clinton administration. This is Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State, and look where you are on the brink of nuclear war with Russia. What kind of damage is Trump going to do that Hillary hasn't already done? Or maybe he can actually improve things. Because, like I said, the status quo, it's so bad. Do you want more of the same? Because those are your two options right now. It's Hillary or Trump. As much as I would not have Trump home for drinks, I would not get on the van with him. As much as he's a douchebag, what matters is who he's going to have with him. That's what really matters. We already know about Hillary Clinton. So now I sound like I'm saying, go vote for Trump, but I'm just trying to bring up some of the things that people might not realize because of the way the media like distorts stuff. Because that's what they do. I've seen some people putting up signs saying, you know, vote nobody in 2016, you're screwed either way. You don't know, but Trump is a gamble, but is he a gamble worth taking? You know, that's the question. You might be like, wow, I'm so glad we voted for Trump. He finally broke us out of the status quo. He finally broke us out of the grip of the ruling oligarchy. He finally, you know, brought money back to America. People have jobs and, you know, you might be like that, or you might be like, why did we do this? We had it so good before. Okay, it sucked kind of, but look at the disaster now. So you really got to look at what he's planning to do. You got to look at what the people around him are planning to do. That's how you're going to know if he's a good bet or not, regardless of Pussygate and whether he's a douchebag. Trump said these things. Does this mean he shouldn't serve? It's funny because the debate, the second presidential debate, a lot of it was about who's fit, you know, the fitness to serve, which so far it was like, well, Hillary, you can't be fit to serve because look, you're half dead. And now it's, well, Trump, you can't be fit to serve because Pussygate. So, but does this really mean that he's not fit to serve? I would say, like, this is terrible. Trump, you owe women an apology. I mean, we know that men are dogs. The fact is, men are dogs. We know that. But be a little more discreet about it. I mean, you know, secretly a lot of men are dogs. They act nice in public, they go home, they're dogs. They don't say these things out loud, but they think them. Maybe Donald Trump has never grabbed a single in his whole life. But he likes to brag about the fact that, you know, he thinks he can. No, Donald, you can't. I don't care how rich and famous you are. You can't do that. It's a sexual assault. So you should realize that now. Donald, you need to say, I'm sorry. I'm a douchebag. I'm sorry. I apologize to you women. I will not grab pussy ever. But I still want to run for president. Give me another chance. I promise you I won't say anything like that again. You need to atone. So you're standing at this crossroads now, and it's almost time for you to decide. So let me know, who are you going to vote for and why? So thank you for giving me a thumbs up. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for subscribing. Thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.